from the 22nd of June, that is, from the very moment in which he was placed at the head of the commission, the Duke of Otranto, Fouché, issued orders that nothing should be allowed to go out of the Tuileries, nor any of the furniture belonging to the crown, without an order signed by himself. It was late in the night between the 26th and 27th of June, when the government, at length yielding to the urgent importunities of the Grand Marshal, caused the following letter to be written to him by Berlier, Councillor of State. Count, I have the honor to transmit to you an order which may be useful to you in the voyage you are about to undertake, except of the high consideration of your very devoted Berlier. On the 27th at noon, the Grand Marshal caused the note to be delivered to the Emperor, accompanied by the letter by which it had been preceded, and the decree which follows. During the night, this letter and the subjoined decree have been put into my hands. I have been this morning to the Tuileries to speak with the commission and to ask for some explanation, and especially to know if the frigates are to sail under a safe conduct. The commission was assembled. The ministers of state, the committees of the two chambers, and marshals, among others, Marshal Massena, were there. I found it impossible to obtain an audience either of the Duke of Otranto or the Duke of Vicenza. After having waited for 2 hours, Monsieur Berlier told me it was impossible for the Duke of Vicenza to come out, and I learned that they had received news from the commissioners sent to the Allies, which was said to be favorable, but I could not learn the contents. Monsieur Berlier called my attention to Article 6 and informed me that this order had been considered necessary because in negotiating with the Allied powers respecting the fate of the Emperor, they could not allow him to depart unless the answer was favorable. If the answer were favorable, the frigates would be allowed to sail. But even in this case, it would have the advantage of allowing the Emperor immediately to proceed to Rochefort. As soon as I can see the commission, I shall return and have written to the Duke of Vicenza to give me information. Bertrand, Wednesday, June 27th. Extract from the minutes of the Secretary of State. Paris, June 26, 1815. The Commission of Government decrees as follows. Article 1. The Minister of Marine will issue the necessary instructions for 2 armed frigates to be prepared at the port of Rochefort to convey Napoleon Bonaparte to the United States. Article 2. He shall be furnished, if he desire it, with a sufficient escort to the point of embarkation, which shall be under the orders of General Becker, who was commissioned to watch over his safety. Article 3. The Director General of the Post will give the necessary orders on his part to provide relays of horses. Article 4. The Minister of Marine will issue the necessary orders for the immediate return of the frigates after the disembarkation. Article 5. The frigates shall not leave the roads of Rochefort till the safe conduct which has been asked shall have arrived. Article 6. The Ministers of Marine, War, and Finance are respectively charged with the due execution of the present decree. Signed, the Duke of Otranto, Count Grenier, Count Carnot, Baron Quinet, and Caulaincourt, Duke of Vicenza. Signed, Berlier, Assistant Secretary to the Minister, Secretary of State. On the same night, the Duke of Otranto sent a verbal notice to General Bertrand that the heads of the household department were authorized by virtue of a decision of the government to deliver him the following articles. I don't want to read this list. Such was the outfit for his exile, not much, which was allotted to the Emperor Napoleon by a man whom the Emperor Napoleon had created a duke and to whom he had given an income of 200,000 francs. On the morning of the 27th of June, the Minister of War wrote to General Becker as follows. Paris, June 27th, 1815. General, I have the honor to transmit to you the subjoined decree, which the Commission of Government desire you to notify to the Emperor Napoleon, at the same time informing His Majesty that the circumstances are become imperative and that it is necessary for him to immediately to decide on setting out for the Isle of X. This decree has been passed as much for the safety of his person as for the interest of the state, which ought always be dear to him. Should the Emperor not adopt the above-mentioned resolution on your notification of this decree, it will then be your duty to exercise the strictest surveillance, both with a view of preventing His Majesty from leaving Malmaison and of guarding against any attempt upon his life. You will station guards on all the approaches to Malmaison. I have written to the Chief Inspector General of the Gendarmerie and to the Commandant of Paris to place such of the gendarmerie troops as you may require at your disposal. I repeat to you, General, that this decree has been adopted solely for the good of the state and the personal safety of the Emperor. Its prompt execution is indispensable, as the future fate of His Majesty and his family depend upon it. It is necessary to say to you, General, that all your measures should be taken with greatest possible secrecy. Prince of Ecumul, Marshal, Minister for